should you really buy a Tesla? Today I'm going to go through my experiences and my journey of buying one a couple years ago and where my head was at the time, where my head was at now, where my finances were at the time, where it's now. So hopefully this will be a good informational video and kind of a metaphor for, whatever toy or big thing that you're wanting to buy or something that you desire, but maybe, just maybe you shouldn't. So the point of this is just to share my story and to share how difficult it is to be logical with your finances when you have these strong urges and desires. And because people always say you just got to budget. It'll be the key to saving money for retirement, to paying off your debts, but it's really difficult. And hopefully in sharing my story, I can bring in both sides, the logical and the illogical side. So back in 2018, I decided that I wanted to buy a Tesla. It was not something that I needed to do. It wasn't like my car was broken or I just needed to get a new car. It was more like, hey, I haven't done anything for myself in a while. Let's just get a new car. This was kind of delusional because the Tesla would be 4 times the price of my current car at the time, okay? So 4 times the value. Believe me, I had no business buying a car 4 times more expensive than the one I have now. I went to check out the financing and the bank was like, yeah, you can afford it. Because what the bank did is they asked me, hey, how much money do you make? And I was like, I make this much. And they were like, okay, you're good. You can afford this. So that's how that happens. I did not lie on the application. I just told them how much I made and they were like, yep, that's good enough. So basically I was able to finance it and my car payment was $1,200 a month, which at first was shocking. And then I like told myself, oh, it's fine. This is I deserve this car. It's worth it. Now that I think about it, obviously $1,200 a month for a car is a little ridiculous. Maybe just at least a little ridiculous. And so as I became more conscious with money and with our finances, and same with, that's something that my wife really helps me with, is she really, sat us down and was like, hey, we need to get serious on this shit, or otherwise we don't know where we're going. We have no goals financially. We just got to get serious. So we started realizing that was a really stupid financial decision. Okay, we weren't broke, but paying $1,200 a month for a car means we weren't saving for retirements. We weren't saving or investing that money. We weren't really increasing other areas of our life, like quality of life. So yeah, started to realize that was a stupid financial decision. And also, I really loved the car. It had autopilot where it drives by itself on the highway. It has 2 trunks. It's got a giant moonroof. It's got a giant screen with navigation. It doesn't take any gas. I just charge it every night at home. And you can freaking go on your phone on the Tesla app and you can unlock it. You can turn on the AC, turn on the heat. You can see where your car is at any time on the map, on your app. So, it's just a great technological car. It's really comfortable, drives smooth, heated seats in the front and back. You can't go wrong with a Tesla. So I really love the car and I know that it was a terrible financial decision. So we started listening and reading Dave Ramsey's books. And the general idea I got from those was you should sell the car. That's what he was saying. That's what he tells people on his podcast. You bought the car and you can't afford it and you're making payments on it and you don't have an emergency fund, you got to sell the car. And the first thing I thought was, well, this guy's kind of a jackass. I'm not selling the car. Stubborn, being really stubborn. But then again, we weren't saving for retirement or we didn't have an emergency fund. So after a little bit, it was yeah, maybe we should sell the car. But after a lot of talking and discussing, we came to this plan where if I'm able to pay off the car within a year, then we can keep the car. If not, then we'll sell it to pay off, the other car, to pay off student loan debts, and to start saving for the emergency funds. So that was the plan, And now it wasn't an easy decision. It was something that we talked about over and over to make sure it was the right decision. We were always switching back and forth. Should we sell the car? Should we not? But anyway, we came up with the plan. If we can pay off the car within the year, then we'll keep it. And now I'm fortunate enough to have my own business, so where I can be like, okay, I need to make this much money by this time next year in order to meet my goals here. How can I do that? So I'm fortunate enough to have that flexibility to be able to do that. In the meantime, we adjusted our budget to make sure we were saving money a little bit for our emergency funds. You know, we cut back on some expenses and stuff to make sure we had at least a small emergency fund so that, you know, nothing will blindside us too badly. And so what happened was, you know, I set these goals out for my business, how much money we needed to make. You know, in the end, we had a really good year, and I was able to pay off the car. I was able to pay off my wife's car and student loans all in that same year. And we have a $25,000 emergency fund. We had a phenomenal year, and I'm very grateful and fortunate for that. It was a messy path to getting here. And I know explaining it to you here in this short video, it doesn't sound that messy. You know, it sounds like, oh, it ended up being fine, but trust me, it was a messy path. And what I learned from it was my desires, my wants really got in the way of having a less stressful time in my business. You know, because we just sold the car, there'd be less pressure on me to earn so much money. But you know, that's how it went down. And now, in the middle of a pandemic, where I'm working from home, where all my clients just want to meet virtually, I'm not even driving the damn thing. It's just sitting in my garage. That's where we're at now. And you know, at least I don't have a freaking car payment to worry about with all these uncertainties. But you know, all that just to have a car sit in my garage. So you should be logical with your money. However, sometimes your wants and your desires can get in the way of that. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, because you got to do what makes you happy too. You know, you got to have a balance. I think like some people are really happy being super frugal with their money, you know, having like a $2,000 a month budget. That's not our family. You know, our family, we're not super frugal. We value like a lot of things in our life that improve the quality of our life. But this got to be in the balance. You know, having a $1,200 car payment when there's no emergency fund, when there's no retirement savings, that is not a balance. And so the biggest lesson to take here is really check your wants and your desires. If you're planning on doing something that is like a big purchase or a big decision, a big financial decision, just check it and see if it really, really makes sense. Is it worth your happiness? Is it worth the troubles? Is it worth the money? Just really check yourself there. And that's all I got for today. Thanks for joining me. If you like the content of this video, please hit that subscribe button and smash that like button, and I'll see you guys next time.